The first meeting, Josh stood at the edge of the training yard, sweat dripping down his face as he watched the newest recruits go through their combat drills. Most of them were tall, armored aliens with sharp claws or heavy tails. And then there was her Dot. She was lean, with gray-blue skin and silver hair pulled tightly behind her head. Her eyes glowed like twin moons, beautiful but fierce. She was shorter than the others, but Josh had already seen her flip a 400-kilo training dummy like it was made of feathers. Dot, she was definitely different. And deadly. Who is that? Josh asked the sergeant nearby. That's Lyra. Careful. Human, she doesn't talk much, but when she moves, even the air gets scared. Josh chuckled. She looks kinda cute. He hadn't meant to say it out loud, but it was too late. Lyra turned. For a moment, her serious expression cracked. Just a little. Her cheeks darkened a blush on that terrifying alien face. She looked away quickly, pretending not to hear. Josh grinned. Yep, cute. The next second, he was flying, not metaphorically. Literally flying through the air, tumbling across the hard ground. Lyra had moved faster than he could blink. She hadn't even touched him, just waved a hand, and the shockwave knocked him into a pile of crates. Groaning, Josh sat up. Okay. Strong, too. The others laughed, some with surprise, some with fear. But Lyra stood still, her back turned to everyone, shoulders stiff. Josh, still sore, stood and walked toward her. You always throw guys for giving compliments. Lyra finally turned. Her glowing eyes narrowed. I do not understand your customs. Josh raised his hands. Just saying you looked cute. Is that bad where you come from? She blinked slowly. It means something different for my people. Well, on Earth. It's a nice thing. Her voice was soft now, confused. Nice? Josh nodded, still smiling despite the ache in his ribs. You train hard. You fight strong. But yeah, you're also kinda cute when you concentrate. The soldiers nearby were now pretending not to watch, but they were listening to every word. Lyra looked at her hands as if unsure what to do with them. I have not heard that word before. Josh tilted his head. Cute? She nodded once. Then I guess I'm the first. A long silence hung between them. Then Lyra said, You should. Train now. Why? You are weak. Josh grinned. Says the one who just launched me into orbit. I held back. He laughed. Then maybe you can show me how to fight like that. Teach me. Lyra stared at him. You want to learn from me? Sure. What could go wrong? Her head tilted. Many things. Josh smiled wider. I'm willing to risk it. Lyra turned, stepping toward the center of the yard. Then come. If you can still walk. Josh limped behind her. I'll crawl if I have to. As the two faced each other again, the crowd around them grew silent. No one had ever seen Lyra train with someone who wasn't already elite, let alone a human. Josh raised his fists, took a stance that made his skin crawl fluid, dangerous, like a blade ready to strike. Still, he winked. Still cute. She blinked again, then smirked. For the first time since arriving, Lyra smiled, and then she attacked. Asterisk bruised, but not broken. Josh hit the ground again. And again. Lyra's moves were smooth, fast, and terrifying. She barely touched him, yet he was already nursing a bruised shoulder and a sore hip. The crowd watching around them had gone quiet. Every time Josh got up, they expected him to quit. But he didn't. He rolled to his knees and stood once more, panting. You are slow, Lyra said calmly. Too slow. I'm learning, Josh replied, spitting out dust. Besides, didn't I last 2 seconds longer that time? No, you lasted one. Ouch. Lyra took a step forward, her hands behind her back. She wasn't mocking him. Her tone was serious, like a teacher evaluating a student. You need balance. You move with your eyes. You must move with instinct. Josh stretched his arms. Instinct takes time. I've only been fighting you for 10 minutes. Her head tilted slightly. Then your time is impressive. Josh blinked. Was that a compliment? Lyra said nothing, but her cheeks darkened. Again, the same odd blush he'd seen earlier. Don't go launching me again, he joked. I bruise easy. She turned slightly to hide her face, but her voice was soft. Then stop saying such things, like calling you cute? She didn't respond. Instead, she threw a punch. Josh dodged dash barely dot. He staggered back, surprised. Was that one real? Lyra nodded. Yes, now you dodge. A few aliens in the crowd murmured. One of them, a large reptilian officer, grunted. Human has guts, another added, or no brain. But Josh was focused. For the next 20 minutes, Lyra guided him. Her moves were lightning fast, but now slower than before, meant for teaching. Josh got tossed again, but this time he landed on his feet. Lyra nodded once. Good. Really? He gasped. Can we write that down somewhere? She stepped closer. You do not give up easily. It's a human thing. She looked at him, longer this time. Her eyes weren't cold now, they were studying him. You smile when you are hit. Why? Josh shrugged. I guess it means I'm still in the fight. Lyra stepped back. You are strange. He chuckled. Thanks. I'll take that as another compliment. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang from the base tower. A voice came through the speakers. All squads report. Unknown ship entering outer orbit. Possible threat. Prepare for alert drills. The crowd broke apart quickly, soldiers grabbing gear, running to their posts. Lyra turned toward the command tent, then looked back at Josh. Do I get dismissed, or? Come, she said firmly. Wait, you want me with you? You are not trained, but you are fast to learn. And you do not run. That is enough, for now. Josh felt a strange warmth in his chest. Coming from her, that was like getting a medal. Lead the way, teacher. As they jogged toward the tower, Josh asked, So what happens if this unknown ship attacks? Lyra didn't look at him. Then we defend? And if we lose? She stopped, eyes glowing brighter. I do not lose, Josh smiled. See? That's the confidence I like. Lyra turned slightly. You are injured. Do not slow me down. I'll keep up. You better. And with that, the strange pair, one tough alien warrior and one stubborn human, rushed toward whatever was coming from the sky. Dot together, dot asterisk. The unexpected visitor. The control room buzzed with alert lights and flashing screens. Officers barked orders while guards armed themselves and moved to key points around the base. Outside, defense turrets rose from the sand like metal beasts. Josh followed Lyra closely. She walked with purpose, calm, focused, and ready. Do we know what's coming? Josh asked, still a little out of breath. Lyra's voice was low. Not yet. The signal is unclear. Could be a rogue trader, ... or something worse. The wide screen at the front of the room showed a shadow slowly coming into focus. A ship, but it wasn't like the sleek military cruisers Josh had seen before. This one looked old-patched, crooked, and massive. It's not broadcasting any ID, a comms officer said. No known markings, another added. But it's powered. Lyra narrowed her eyes. Zoom in. The camera focused tighter. Gasps echoed across the room. Parts of the ship were broken and scorched, but it was still flying. Josh noticed symbols on its hull none he could read, but they looked hand-drawn, like war paint. Pirates? Josh asked quietly. Lyra nodded. Or worse. Scavengers from the outer ring. They take slaves. They don't send messages. Lovely. They. Base commander, an insectoid officer named Kryn, clicked his mandibles. All squads to defensive posture. Lyra, take your team to southern platform. Block any breach attempt. Yes, Commander, Lyra replied, turning on her heel. Wait, what about me? Josh asked. You follow me, Lyra said without looking back. I'm not armed. She stopped, looked over her shoulder, and handed him a small shock baton. He held it up. This better come with instructions. It stuns if you press the red button. Do not touch the green one. Josh frowned. Why? Green is for ... something else. Right. Definitely avoiding green. They reached the southern platform. From there, the crashed moon hills were visible in the distance. The enemy ship slowed as it approached orbit. Its engines sparked. Then, with a burst of flame, it began descent ... straight toward the base. They're not slowing down, one of the guards said nervously. They're going to crash on purpose. Another whispered. Lyra spoke firmly. Hold the line. When the dust clears, aim for the legs. These creatures wear heavy armor, but have weak knees. Josh raised a brow. That single quotes S... very specific. I have fought them before. He stood beside her, gripping the baton tightly. Guess I'll just aim where you aim. She glanced at him once. Stay close. If they target you, what? I will remove their heads. Josh blinked. Remind me not to get on your bad side again. The ship slammed into the ground, half a mile out far enough to avoid hitting the base directly, but close enough to kick up a massive cloud of sand and ash. The earth shook. Everyone braced. Silence followed. Then came movement. Figures emerged. From the dust, tall, armored shapes with glowing blue weapons and strange helmets. Josh whispered, Okay, definitely not traitors. Be ready, Lyra said, stepping in front of him. The raiders charged. 12 of them, moving like wolves, fast and deadly. But they didn't expect Lyra. She moved like lightning, dodging and striking. Her blade cut through one attacker's armor with ease. Another tried to grab her. He was flying through the air seconds later. Josh, trying to stay alive, swung the baton wildly. He managed to shock one of the smaller raiders, who dropped instantly, twitching. I did it. Josh shouted. Then another raider tackled him. They rolled on the ground. The alien pinned him down. Snarling. Josh reached for the baton, but it had rolled away. Just as the raider raised a glowing blade, something slammed into it from the side. Lyra. She hit the attacker with full force, sending it crashing into a wall. She looked down at Josh, breathing hard. I told you to stay close. Josh coughed. I was ... testing your reflexes. Lyra didn't smile, but she offered him her hand. He took it, still shaking. More raiders were coming, but Lyra stood over him like a wall of steel. Her voice was steady. This fight is not over. Josh grabbed the baton again, and let's finish it together. Back to back in battle, the air was thick with dust and energy blasts. Explosions shook the ground as more raiders poured from a crashed ship. Alarms howled across the base, but Josh only focused on the space around Lyra and himself. Lyra moved like a storm, fast, silent, and deadly. Her strikes were clean, each motion practiced and perfect. She didn't waste energy. Every swing of her blade dropped another enemy. Josh, on the other hand, was just trying not to die. He swung the shock baton at anything that moved too close. One raider tried to tackle him again, but Josh ducked and jabbed the red button. The alien jerked and hit the ground, twitching. 2. He yelled. Lyra didn't look, but she replied calmly, Good, keep going. They fought side by side, then back to back, covering each other's blind spots. Josh realized something he wasn't just surviving. He was helping another raider charge toward Lyra's side. Josh jumped in front and stabbed his baton into the alien's leg. The weapon hissed, and the raider collapsed in a heap. 3! Josh shouted again, chest pounding. Lyra looked at him briefly, eyes glowing with something strange approval. You improve fast. Guess being terrified really helps. More enemy forces circled them. Josh noticed something odd. Many of the raiders kept aiming at him, not Lyra. Why are they focused on me? He asked, swinging again. They target the weak link, she said. Gee, thanks. Also, they may have seen you near me. Josh blinked. What does that mean? She didn't answer, slicing through another enemy with sharp precision. That's when one of the larger raiders pointed at Josh and barked in a language he didn't understand. But whatever the order was, the other enemies followed. A group of them rushed straight toward him. Josh braced himself, but this time Lyra didn't wait. She moved like a blur, body glowing faintly with some inner power. Her strikes sent raiders flying. She dropped 3 of them before Josh could even lift his baton. The last one reached Josh and tried to grab him, but Lyra's boot caught the raider in the side, launching him across the platform. Josh stared at her in awe. Okay, that was definitely orbit-worthy. Lyra turned to him, breathing heavier than before. You are important now. I will not let them take you. Why am I important? He asked, still confused. Lyra paused, her voice lowered. They believe you are my bondmate. Josh choked. Your what? Life pair? Chosen partner, she explained, barely flinching as a blast hit near her. Your words before, in front of the others, ... When you said I was cute and stood to fight beside me, it can be taken as a sign of intent. Josh blinked. Wait, calling you cute made us married? In my culture, possibly. There was a long pause. Josh stood blinking in shock as 2 more raiders attacked. Lyra growled and cut them both down. He whispered, So, I accidentally proposed. And now space pirates want to kidnap me? Yes. Josh ran his hands through his hair. This day just keeps getting weirder. Lyra looked at him, her face calm despite the chaos. You have made a connection. They want to use it to control me. Josh looked at the downed enemies. Because of me, they think they can force you to obey? Yes, but they are wrong. He stared at her strength, her calm fury, this way she fought for him without hesitation. You're not scared of them, are you? No, she said. But I am ... worried for you. Josh swallowed hard. I'll stay with you. I'm not running. Her eyes softened, just a little. Then, we fight together. Yeah, Josh said, gripping the baton again. Bondmates or not, I've got your back. Suddenly, a larger figure appeared from the smoke. A raider commander taller, armored in red and black plating, wielding a strange energy spear. His helmet hissed as he stepped forward. The other raiders pulled back. This one was different. Lyra raised her blade. He is their leader. He will try to take you. Josh frowned. Then what do we do? She turned to him with a dangerous smile. We break him. Asterisk facing the commander. The raider commander stood tall, his heavy armor gleaming with glowing red lines. His energy spear sparked with every breath he took. Around him, the battlefield grew quiet. Even the other raiders stepped back. Josh tightened his grip on the shock baton, but his hand trembled. Any chance he'll accept a peaceful talk? Lyra didn't answer. Her eyes locked onto the commander's. He is called Vor, she said calmly. He is known for taking targets alive. Important ones. He thinks he can beat me. Josh gulped. Can he? She looked at Josh, then back at Vor. No. Vor raised his spear, and pointed it straight at Josh. Josh's heart nearly stopped. Before Vor could step forward, Lyra moved between them. "I warned them," she said coldly. "No one touches him." Vor didn't speak. He charged Josh Dove aside as the huge alien leapt forward with a roar. The energy spear slammed into the ground where he had been standing, exploding with a small shockwave that threw debris into the air. Lyra met the next attack head-on. Their weapons clashed with thunderous sparks. Each time Vor swung, Lyra blocked barely. She was fast, but he was strong. Very strong. Josh scrambled behind a crate, watching the two warriors clash like gods in the dust. The shockwaves knocked smaller aliens off their feet. "I should help," Josh whispered to himself. Then he remembered her words. "They're trying to get to her through me." He looked around. 2 raiders were sneaking along the wall heading right for him. Nope, not today. Josh ran toward them, surprising them both. He swung the baton wide, catching one in the arm. The alien howled and dropped. The second one grabbed Josh by the collar. Josh hit the red button, pressed it against the raider's chest, and held it there. The alien convulsed, then dropped. Stunned. Josh stood over them, panting. 4 and 5. I'm keeping count now. Back at the center, Lyra and Vor were locked in a brutal exchange. Lyra's shoulder bled from a shallow cut. Her breathing was faster, but she never backed down. Josh looked at a control panel nearby. An idea formed. He ran to it. The label was in alien script, but he remembered the symbols. He'd seen Lyra press 1 during a training demo. Let's hope I don't fry us all. He slammed his hand on the panel. A deep hum filled the air above the platform. A defensive cannon emerged. Slowly turning toward the battlefield. Lyra saw it and jumped back. Vor raised his arm too late. Josh hit the button. The cannon blasted Dot. It didn't kill Vor, but it knocked him back into a wall hard enough to crack his armor. Smoke rose from his chest plate as he growled and got back up. Josh ran to Lyra's side. I bought us a second. She looked at him, eyes wide. You activated the cannon. Was that bad? No, that was smart. Vor roared and charged again. Lyra met him in the center, but this time she had helped. Josh darted in, using his baton to block the spear's lower strike while Lyra went high. Vor stumbled. Lyra spun and delivered a powerful kick to his chest, cracking. More armor. Josh jabbed the baton into the side of Vor's knee. The shock pulse made the huge alien stagger. Lyra didn't waste the moment. With a swift upward strike, she shattered his helmet. The alien's face was revealed, scaly, scarred, and furious. He tried one last attack, but Lyra jumped, twisted mid-air, and slammed her blade into the base of his neck. Vor dropped like stone. Silence. Josh looked at the fallen commander, then back at Lyra. Is it over? Lyra was breathing hard. Yes. All around them, the remaining raiders froze. Then, seeing their leader fall, they fled into the dust. Alarms stopped. The base stood strong. Josh exhaled in relief. Well, that was intense. Lyra turned. To him, face calm but eyes soft. You fought well. Without fear, Josh smiled. Wasn't fear. It was survival. And maybe a little luck. She stepped closer. They were right to fear you. Me? He laughed. I'm just a guy with a stick. You're more than that now. Josh blinked. Does that mean ... we're still bondmates? She looked away, just slightly. Maybe. He smiled. I'll take that as a yes. Asterisk whispers across the base. The battlefield was quiet now. Smoke drifted across the platform as medics moved in. Some carried stretchers. Others checked for wounded. Raiders who had been stunned or knocked out were dragged away to holding cells. Josh sat on a crate, finally letting his arms rest. His body ached all over shoulder, ribs, legs. Every muscle screamed, but he was smiling. Lyra stood nearby, blade still in hand, watching the retreating enemy ship vanish into the clouds. Its engines coughed and sparked as it escaped into the sky, but it was broken, beaten. They wouldn't come back. They ran, Josh said, wiping sweat from his forehead. They actually ran. Lyra nodded, her voice steady. Because we broke their leader. Josh looked at her. We make a good team. She turned to face him. Yes, you. Surprised me today. Was it the cannon trick? No, it was everything. Josh chuckled softly, but he noticed something strange. Other soldiers around the base had stopped to watch them. Humans and aliens alike were whispering. Eyes followed Lyra and Josh wherever they walked. Some nodded with respect. Others looked. Shocked. A tall avian officer walked by and said, So the rumors are true. She chose him. Another whispered, Did you see how she protected him? Like a mate. Josh leaned closer to Lyra. We've become the center of attention. Lyra didn't respond at first. Then she said, They saw something rare. What? A warrior choosing someone in the middle of battle. That does not happen here. Josh blinked. But I didn't choose a battle. I chose you. That made her pause. Her glowing eyes looked down at him. And I chose to protect you. I never protect anyone like that. Josh smiled. Sounds like we both broke a few rules. Lyra's voice dropped lower. Some of my people won't accept it. You are human. Outsider, not of my world. But I fought beside you. Doesn't that matter? She looked at the deep slash across her own armor. It matters to me. Before Josh could reply, the base commander, Kryn, approached. His insectoid face clicked and buzzed. Lyra, human, you've caused quite the wave. Josh stood up, trying to act like his legs weren't shaking. Sorry about the cannon. Kryn raised a hand. Not angry. That shot saved lives. He turned to Lyra. And you fought like one of the old legends. But there's a matter to discuss. Lyra tensed. What matter? Kryn looked between them. Bondmate rumors. You two need to speak clearly. The council will demand answers. Josh raised his hands. Woe Council? Lyra nodded slowly. They decide which pairings are allowed and which are rejected. Josh frowned. So they can tell us we're not allowed? Yes. Kryn gave them both a long look. But if you two stand together publicly, if you both accept it, the council may step back. It's rare, but not impossible. Josh looked at Lyra. She stood still, unreadable. He stepped closer. What do you want to do? She looked into his eyes. What do you want? Josh took a deep breath. I didn't mean for this to happen. I called you cute, and now I'm caught in a galaxy-wide drama. But you fought for me. You stood between me and death. Lyra said nothing, just watching him. And I won't forget that. You're not just strong. You're kind too, even if you hide it. So yeah, if I'm stuck being your bondmate. She raised an eyebrow. He grinned. Then maybe I'm lucky. For the first time in hours, Lyra laughed. A soft, honest sound. I do not laugh easily, she said. Josh smiled. Then I must be really special. She nodded once. You are. Kryn stepped back. Then I will inform the council. You both will be watched closely. Josh sighed. Let them watch. Lyra reached out, brushing his bruised shoulder gently. Rest now. You earned it. Josh looked up at her, surprised by the tenderness. I'll rest, he said. As long as you're not planning to throw me again. No promises. They both smiled. Above them, the sun began to rise over the burned hills. The base was still standing. They were still standing, and something new had begun. Not just a strange bond, but something deeper. Asterisk chosen the next day. Everything changed. Josh woke up in the infirmary. His arms were wrapped, his ribs bandaged, and someone had finally cleaned the dust from his face. When he opened his eyes, the first thing he saw was Lyra, standing by the door. She wore a clean uniform, now sharp, regal, the kind that made everyone stop and stare. But her expression softened when she saw him awake. "You lived," she said. Josh grinned, his voice hoarse. "Disappointed?" She shook her head, relieved. Josh tried to sit up, wincing. "How bad is the damage?" "You cracked a rib, bruised both knees, and you smell." He laughed. "Still cute, though?" She looked away quickly, but her cheeks turned that familiar shade again. A soft knock sounded behind her. The base commander, Kryn, stepped in, along with two other council representatives, one tall and feathered, the other short and blue-skinned. Josh sat straighter. "Council time, huh?" Kryn spoke first. "They're here to ask about your bond." The feathered alien cleared their throat. "We have seen footage. The pairing appears real, but we must hear it in words from both of you." Josh looked at Lyra. She stood like a soldier, proud and still. But then her hand moved, and she placed it gently on his. Asterisk. "I chose him," she said, "not by mistake, not because of war. I chose him because he stood when others fell, because he saw me as more than a weapon." Josh felt a lump rise in his throat. "I didn't know what I was getting into," he said honestly, "but I saw someone brave, someone strong, and someone who cared, even if she pretended not to." He glanced at her. "So yeah, I'm not walking away. I chose her back." The blue-skinned counselor looked surprised. "Even knowing your worlds are different," Josh nodded. "Maybe that's why it works." The council members looked at each other, then nodded. "The council accepts this bond," said the feathered one. "Unusual, but earned." As they left the room, Lyra turned to him. "You meant it?" she asked quietly. "All of it?" He nodded. "Every word. I am not trained for this." Josh smiled. "Neither am I." Later that evening, the base threw a celebration, not just for surviving the raid, but for the unusual pair that helped save them. Josh stood in the center of the main hall, still sore, holding a plate of strange food he couldn't pronounce. Around him, soldiers from a dozen species toasted him, clapped him on the back, and asked the same question over and over. "You're really her bondmate? She really let you stand beside her? What did you say to her?" Josh just laughed and gave the same answer every time. "I called her cute." When Lyra finally joined him in the hall, the noise quieted. She walked straight to him, ignoring everyone else. "You are still standing," she said. "Barely. Then let's make it official." Josh blinked. "Make what official?" She reached up and tapped a small symbol onto the collar of his uniform, a glowing mark shaped like two stars crossing paths. It shimmered once, then faded into the fabric. "What's that?" he asked. "It means you are mine," she said, "and I am yours." Josh stared at the mark, then at her. "So this is real, really real." She nodded. "Do you regret it?" He took her hand. Not even for a second. Around them, a new kind of silence fell. Not fear, not surprise. Respect. Cheers followed. Loud and strange and joyful. As the stars turned overhead, Josh and Lyra stood side by side, two people from different worlds, brought together by a word, a fight, and something neither of them planned. And maybe something they both needed. The end. Asterisk.